What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. This is a disaster for Joe Burrow. Let's check this out.
And he gets standard tackle here by Eric Armstead. Bang, toe, out, 3 months. That
yeah, 3 months is crazy, bro. See, like, I don't understand why the Bengals are not giving this man an O-line. Like, honestly, I know they drafted O-line, I think, what, a couple drafts ago when they drafted Amarius Mims. But, bro, like, come on, bro. You know how bad this O-line is every year, along with the defense. So I understand why you draft, you know what I'm saying, Shamar Stewart in the first round. But why not just double dip on offensive linemen in rounds 2 to 3? Like, honestly, bro. Like, y'all really trying to get Joe Burrow killed back there. And I did hear that, you know what I'm saying, people were wondering if Joe Burrow should request a trade. Even if he does request a trade, the Bengals are not going to trade him. Like, honestly, that cap hit is way too massive for that. You know what I'm saying? So they better draft the O-line next year, bro. 100%.
Storyline for the AFC going forward.
A season altering.
Cause like Burrow's only had what, 2 healthy seasons?
Is a minimum of 3 months. It could be even longer.
So picture this: you're Joe Burrow. You just signed the richest contract in NFL history 2 years ago,
bro.
which is $275 million over 5 years. You're supposed to be the savior of Cincinnati, the golden boy from Athens, Ohio, who's gonna bring the Lombardi Trophy home. You've already taken this team to a Super Bowl and 2 AFC championship games, and then snap. Your toe bends in a way that toes are simply not supposed to bend. Your season might be over. Your Super Bowl window, it just got a whole lot smaller. Welcome to the tragedy that is Joe Burrow's 2025 season, where a grade 3 turf toe injury might have just derailed everything the Bengals have been building toward. I spent a good amount of time talking to my little brother, who's a podiatrist, about the severity of a turf toe injury. It sounds like the most minor injury on earth, but in a lot of cases, it could ruin a player's career, and it has ended the careers of many NFL legends. But it goes further beyond that. Was this inevitable, or was this always going to happen? Because when you look at the numbers, when you really dig into what the Bengals have done to protect their $275 million investment, man, it is ugly. I mean, look at the Bengals' pass protection rankings since drafting Burrow. In 2020, they ranked 29th.
Oh my gosh, bro. Like, come on, gang. And this was the year he got hurt. He tore his ACL. He was healthy this year. 2022. Was this the year where he started off the year with like a hand injury or some shit? I know 2023 he ended, you know what I'm saying, he had a season-ending hand injury. 2024 he was healthy, and now this year. I don't know, like, bro. Y'all, like, the Bengals front office, y'all see this and then just want to pay over $300 million for 3 players on offense when you could have realistically let T. Higgins walk in free agency, you know what I'm saying, and then upgrade defense and O-line. Like, honestly, bro. Like, y'all were willing to pay these skilled players and have guys like Orlando Brown Jr. start and block for Joe Burrow. Like, bro, come on, gang. Like, come on.
Was even worse. They were 30th in pass protection.
So, like, they might be drafting Spencer Fano, bro, from Indiana or Utah, whatever school that is that he played for.
The Bengals have had one of the worst offensive lines for Joe Burrow's entire career. They've never, not once, given him an offensive line that ranked in the top half of the league. Think about that for a second. You're paying a guy $55 million a year, and you're protecting him with what's essentially tissue paper and good intentions. So what happened in week 2 against Jacksonville?
I saw a meme and said it was like it's over 1 billion obese people in the world, and like, bro, like, come on, gang. Like, the Bengals, they gotta do better, bro. Like, no wonder why y'all don't have at least 1 ring in y'all franchise history, bro, because y'all can't do anything right.
You'd expect. Joe Burrow drops back to pass in the second quarter. The pocket collapses because, come on, of course it does. And Eric Armstead brings him down.
And look at Orlando Brown doing absolutely
Burrow's
nothing.
Left foot caught in the turf as he went down. His toes hyperextended in that awful way that makes you wince just thinking about it. He needed help from 2 trainers just to limp off of the field. An MRI during the game confirmed everyone's worst fears. Grade 3 turf toe with torn ligaments. Surgery required. Minimum 3 months on the shelf. Now, before we dive into the blame game, and trust me, there's plenty of blame to go around, let me explain what turf toe actually is, because it doesn't sound like it's a big deal until you realize how devastating it can be. Former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky knows firsthand. He suffered the same injury back in 2007 with the Lions, and here's how he described it. It was one of the most painful injuries I've ever had in my life. The two bones split apart and the toe wouldn't flex, and when it did, the pain was excruciating. I had a metal plate put in my cleat and shoe for the whole season. It's an awful injury, and I still feel it today. My toe will randomly pop, especially when I'm working out. That's 17 years later, and he's still dealing with it. This isn't just a stubbed toe we're talking about. This is career-altering stuff. If you join, I want you to really understand just how devastating turf toe can be. You don't need to look at Dan Orlovsky. You need to look at the Hall of Famers, the legends, the guys who were supposed to be indestructible. Let's start with Deion Sanders, primetime, the greatest
we know all about his
to
toe
ever play
injuries.
the game. Arguably the greatest athlete in NFL history. The man who could do everything. Play football on Sunday, baseball on Tuesday, and look fly as hell as he did it. You know what took him down? His toe. Sanders suffered turf toe during the 1998 season with the Cowboys. He described it on the Dan.
Didn't he have to get his toes cut off?
Called to turf toe.
It's the closest thing they call to turf toe, and it was just horrendous. I mean, I've never felt anything like it. It was so bad that it began to be hammer toe, so they had to shave it down and straighten it out.
But here's where it gets scary. 23 years later, the complications from that turf toe injury led to blood clots. Those blood clots led to circulation problems, and in 2021, Deion Sanders had to have 2 toes amputated. 2 toes. The man nearly lost his entire foot, nearly lost his leg from the knee down, and at one point, doctors were just trying to ensure that he stayed alive. Sanders would even say,
They were talking about the amputation of toes. Then they were talking about the amputation of my leg from knee down. Then they were trying to ensure I had life.
from turf toe to fighting for his life. That's the trajectory that we're talking about here. Then there's Jack Lambert, the toothless assassin, the heart of the steel curtain, one of the most feared linebackers in NFL history. A man so tough that when he smiled without his front teeth, grown men wet themselves. You know what ended his career? Turf toe. Lambert missed only 6 games in his first 10 NFL seasons. 6 games! The man was indestructible. Then in 1984, he suffered a severe toe injury that limited him to just 8 games. He tried to play through it because that's just what Jack Lambert did. He played through everything, but this was different. At his retirement press conference, Jack Lambert would say, "When we hit so hard that we jammed the toe and tore it out of its socket." It's as simple as that. The Pro Football Hall of Fame actually has Lambert's shoe from that season on display, with a cast built into it to help him handle the injury. Think about that. They had to build a cast into his shoe just so he could attempt to play. Lambert retired at 32. He was still an All-Pro the season before. He was at the top of his game, but the turf toe injury ended it all. At his retirement press conference, he said something that should frighten every Bengals fan, saying last year was probably the most difficult year of my life in regard to football. It was the first time in my life that I ever felt like I didn't deserve a paycheck. I felt kind of embarrassed about going back and picking up my paycheck from Mr. Rooney. This is Jack Lambert we're talking about, a 4-time Super Bowl champion, a 9-time Pro Bowler, and turf toe made him feel like he was stealing money. But at the same time, everyone who gets turf toe doesn't see their career end. Patrick Mahomes might be the best case scenario for what can happen with proper
Dark magic,
smart contract structuring, and a competent organization. Now, Mahomes suffered turf toe in the 2021 divisional round against Cleveland and tried to play through it. I don't know if you guys remember, this is when Patrick Mahomes' backup had to come in for a few plays to close out the game. The Chiefs would advance past the divisional round against Cleveland, and they would eventually make it all the way to the Super Bowl, where they would lose 31-9 versus Tampa Bay, one of the worst games of Mahomes' entire career. He was pressured a Super Bowl record 29 times. He scrambled laterally for a combined 497 yards before throwing the ball or being sacked, meaning that this man had to run from sideline to avoid pressure for 497 yards. It's absolutely insane. He was running for his life out there, and he couldn't plant and throw properly. Now, luckily for Mahomes, after that game, he was free to recover. He needed surgery afterward, and that kept him out for 16 weeks, but here's the difference, and Bengals fans, pay attention to this part. Mahomes would come back and win 2 more Super Bowls. How? Well, for starters, his contract
That's a dark magic, nigga. That's what it is.
averages about
Like, bro, I'm never gonna let that dark magic shit go, bro.
$10 million less
Honestly.
than Joe Burrow. You know what $10 million buys you? Quality offensive linemen, depth, protection, and a solid defense. The Chiefs invested in protecting their investment. They
That
got
is
him
true,
the
though.
surgery
That is true.
immediately. They gave him time to heal properly, and when he came back, they had an offensive line that could actually block for him. The result was back-to-back championships. That's the difference between a competent organization and, well, the Bengals. Dr. Robert Anderson, who's treated nearly 500 NFL players for toe and foot problems, calls turf toe the excruciating, maddening malady that afflicts up to 50 speed and skill players each year, and notes that it has ended the careers of the fastest and toughest players in NFL history. That's not hyperbole, that's fact. The list of careers derailed by turf toe reads like a who's who of NFL greatness. AJ Green could have easily played for way longer, but turf toe robbed him of that. Julio Jones was never the same. Devontae Adams missed crucial games. Antonio Gates, the Hall of Fame tight end, battled it for years. And now Joe Burrow joins this list. The $275 million man with the grade 3 turf toe, torn ligaments.
And now, I hope that this opens up the Bengals front office eyes, bro, to finally get bro some help, gang. Cause you can't just keep throwing 5 trash bags in front of him every year, bro, and think that he's just gonna continue to throw for 300, 400 yards, bro, and try to carry y'all to the playoffs. No, it's not gonna work, bro. Everything always starts up front. If you don't have any good blocking, you're not going anywhere in this league, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? So I hope this opens their eyes, bro. As much as I hate the Bengals, I hate to see shit like this happen to great players, bro. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that they finally get, bro, a good offensive line next year.
I could easily stretch for longer. You know what's really terrifying about all this? These other guys, Dion, Lambert, even Mahomes initially, they got hurt when they had already accomplished something. Dion had won 2 Super Bowls. Jack Lambert had 4 Super Bowls. Mahomes had already won 1 of them before his injury. Joe Burrow, he's got 0. 0 Super Bowls, 0 championships, just a bunch of almosts and what ifs, and now a mangled toe that turns those almosts into nevers. But here's where the story gets really interesting and kind of infuriating if you're a Bengals fan, because this isn't like the organization hasn't tried to fix the offensive line problem. They've thrown money at it. They've spent draft capital on it. They just haven't done it well. And here's the kicker. The Bengals decided that 2025 was the year to go all in. Yeah, the same year that Joe Burrow shredded his toe. Talk about really bad timing. If you guys remember, throughout the offseason, I was bringing you guys updates as to the cap situation for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I essentially said that this is a ticking time bomb. In March 2025, just months before Burrow's injury, the Bengals went on a spending spree that would make Mike Brown's ancestors roll in their graves.
Damn.
They signed Jamar Chase to a 4-year, $161 million extension, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history at the time at $40.25 million per year. At the same time, they locked up T. Higgins to a 4-year, $115 million deal worth $28.75 million annually after franchise tagging him twice. Then they gave Trey Hendrickson a raise to $30 million for 2025 just to keep him from holding out. But here's the thing, Trey Hendrickson is a free agent after this year, so they're paying him top dollar for 1 season and he might walk away anyway. When you add it all up, the Bengals have over $150 million per year committed to just 4 players. Joe Burrow is getting $55 million, Chase is getting $40.25 million, Higgins is getting $28.75 million, and Hendrickson's getting $30 million. That's insane. That's more than some teams.
Bro, that's just horrible negotiation on their part, bro. Oh man, as a Ravens fan, I love watching the Bengals crumble, but at the same time, bro, this shit is just pathetic, bro. It's just pathetic how bad of an organization the Bengals are.
And here's where it gets really scary for Bengals fans. According to salary cap projections, Cincinnati currently has only about $12.8 million in cap space for 2025. Next year, they're projected to have around $52 million in cap space. But that's before they have to deal with Hendrickson potentially leaving, potentially franchise tagging someone, and filling out a roster that's already paper thin. By 2027, they'll have over $126 million in cap space. But by then, who knows if this core will even be together still. Who knows if Burrow's body will even hold up that long. The Bengals basically pushed all their chips into the middle of the table for 2025. They said this year is our year. They kept the band together. They paid everyone. And then Joe Burrow suffered turf toe in week 2. Meanwhile, what about the offensive line that's supposed to protect this $275 million investment? Well, in 2023, the Bengals made what they thought was their big splash move. They signed Orlando Brown Jr., a four-time Pro Bowler, to a 4-year, $64 million deal. The signing bonus alone was $31 million, the highest ever for an offensive lineman at the time. Brown even turned down more money from the Jets to come to Cincinnati because he wanted to block for Burrow. That's a feel-good story, right? Except Orlando Brown missed 6 games in 2024 with injuries, and when he has played, the line still ranks at the bottom of the league. What about their draft picks?
In
2024,
bro.
with the
Take this from a Ravens
pick,
fan, bro. He's ass.
Darius Mims from Georgia, 6'8", 340 pounds. This man was described as scientifically manufactured in an offensive tackle factory. They signed him to a fully guaranteed $15.37 million rookie contract. So let me get this straight. You've got your expensive left tackle in Brown. You've got your first round right tackle in Mims. And then you've got Ted Karras at center who just got extended.
And also, just because like the Bengals pay these guys hella money doesn't mean that they're good. Like they could splurge in the offseason all they want on, you know what I'm saying, offensive linemen. If they spend a whole lot of money, not mean that they're really upgrading the O-line.
One time
per se,
or are
bro.
currently known
You know what I'm
as
saying?
good offensive linemen. You're paying your quarterback $55 million a year. You're paying your 2 receivers a combined $69 million per year, more than any other receiver duo in the NFL. You're paying your pass rusher $30 million for one season, and your offensive line still can't block. What are you spending your money on at this point? Like, I could understand any NFL fan looking at this situation and saying, how on earth do the Bengals have 3 average to above average to great offensive linemen, but have one of the worst pass protections in the entire NFL? Well, here's the thing about offensive lines. They're only as strong as their weakest link, and the Bengals have had some really weak links at guard. Plus, Mims is still basically a rookie. He's learning on the job. He was always perceived as a bit of a project. Brown can't stay healthy, and the scheme, well, let's just say that the Bengals like to throw the ball a lot. I mean, a lot, which means more pass blocking situations, which means more opportunities for things to go wrong for Burrow. So now we get to the $275 million question. Is this Joe Burrow's fault? Hear me out before you grab the pitchforks, Bengals fans, because I'm a fan of a football team with an incompetent front office as well. So I have some empathy for you guys here. When Burrow signed that massive extension in September of 2023.
Oh, okay. Now I understand what he's saying. He said, is this Joe Burrow's fault because he wanted all this money that puts them in a predicament where they can't really pay, you know what I'm saying, high profile offensive linemen? I mean, like, because what I don't understand is people see what Tom Brady did and taking a pay cut kind of every year to improve the team and for him to win 7 Super Bowls. So I don't understand why quarterbacks are not looking at that and be like, do I care? Do I just care about myself and, you know what I'm saying, making generational wealth, which is good. You know what I'm saying? You want to retire like your parents and shit like that. But if you want to win a Super Bowl, bro, you're going to willingly take a pay cut or like just lower salary in order to do so, and, you know what I'm saying, help build the, you know what I'm saying, the team around you and stuff like that. So I kind of understand what he's saying right here, but at the same time, bro, Bengals gotta be better at negotiating first. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of quarterbacks got paid before Burrow, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert. I think all those guys got paid before Burrow, which made it, you know, harder on them. So because they had to raise the money up some more. So to be honest, it's still really on the Bengals front office for just waiting so long to pay their players, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they waited so long, and AJ Brown got paid first. Devontae Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, all of them got paid before them. And then CeeDee Lamb as well. And then you move to Trey Hendrickson, where Max Crosby got paid first. Myles Garrett, I think Micah Parsons got his deal before Hendrickson got his raise. So Like, bro, it's really on them for waiting, and like they're basically the Dallas Cowboys front office of the AFC, bro. So this is pretty much all on their front office at the end of the day.
Highest paid player in NFL history at the time. He knew what he was doing to the salary cap. That's $55 million that can't go towards offensive linemen. That's $55 million that can't be spent on protecting Joe Burrow. Patrick Mahomes makes about $45 million per year. Josh Allen makes about $43 million per year. That extra $10 to $12 million Burrow's getting, that could be the difference between having a good guard and having a turnstile. That could be another quality backup tackle for when Orlando Brown inevitably gets hurt. Hell, that could be the difference between having Jake Browning as your backup and someone that's actually competent. Nothing against Jake Browning. And now look at where we are. The Bengals went all in for 2025. They kept everyone. They're paying luxury tax prices for a roster that's supposed to compete for a Super Bowl. Instead, they're 2-0 with a quarterback in a walking boot. Their season hanging by a thread, and about $150 million committed to
I feel like
even
though they are 2-0, bro, that's not going, you know, to have it for long. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Because Drake Browning, he's a good backup. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember the season where he had to step in for Burrow. He played great. You know what I'm saying? They still end up missing the playoffs. But offensive line, bro, I don't think he gonna be able to survive back there either. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Some quarterbacks like Tom Brady,
because Joe Burrow's pocket presence and pocket mobility is way better than Jake Browning's, and Burrow still got hurt.
Brady
so
never made more than $30 million in a season ever, and he's got 7 rings to show for it. Patrick Mahomes restructured his deal to help the Chiefs. Even Jalen Hurts' deal is mildly more team friendly than Joe Burrow's. But hold up, before we start blaming Burrow for wanting to get paid what he's worth, let's flip this around, because the Bengals organization is equally at fault here. I can't blame an individual that comes from a poor upbringing for trying to secure himself generational wealth, but I can blame the organization that was famous for being cheap for years. Remember, the Bengals are the laughingstock of the NFL for penny pinching. They didn't even have an indoor practice facility until recently. Do you know how difficult it was for them to sign their first round rookie Shamar Stewart to a regular contract that is consistent via the rookie wage scale in the NFL? You can't negotiate rookie scale contracts, and yet they nearly had their first round rookie hold out because they were trying to negotiate terms with him. Now, I don't want you guys to think I'm just pooping on the Bengals just to poop on the Bengals. This is a situation that could have easily been avoided. Joe Burrow could have taken a pay cut of around $5 to $10 million, but if he didn't do that, the Bengals could have signed Jamar Chase to a contract extension last year. He would have probably commanded the same amount of money as CeeDee Lamb got last year, which is $34 million a year, or Justin Jefferson, which was $35 million a year. They could have traded T. Higgins instead of signing him to an extension. That would have freed up $28.75 million. They could have used that money towards an offensive lineman and drafted a wide receiver in the first or second round to take T. Higgins' place. So
thank you. Like, bro, there was no reason to bring back T. Higgins, bro. And like, cause like this wide receiver class was pretty much deep. You know what I'm saying? So they could have easily replaced him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe draft, you know, a receiver in the second round, maybe second or third round. You know, like, come on, bro. Like, Bengals, y'all gotta do better, bro. Like, y'all gotta do better.
Pointing the blame finger.
Like, oh my gosh.
Well, with Burrow out for at least,
I was saying that for the longest, bro.
Longer with turf toe. The Bengals season's basically over before it even started. But yeah, they're undefeated right now, but their schedule is brutal. They've got 7 games against 2024 playoff teams coming up. There's already rumors circulating. The Bengals have been calling around to other teams about free agent quarterbacks, and guess who might be available? Kirk Cousins. But even if they trade for Kirk Cousins, Jake Browning is going to be the starter moving forward, according to Adam Schefter. It really causes me a ton of pain when I see Super Bowl caliber cores completely squandered by front office malpractice. And I've said this a lot when I make videos on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a firm believer that if the Cowboys paid Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons on time instead of dragging out the negotiations, they would have
even up to Jerry Jones, bro.
$100 million of cap space.
If they first extended Dak, they would have saved $49 million. If they first extended CeeDee Lamb, they would have saved $14 million. And if he had extended Micah last year, he could have saved $36 million. And that all adds up to about $99 million Wow. You could have been paying other players.
You could have
Damn, bro. That's
crazy.
crazy.
Competitive in the hyper-competitive NFC
Oh
East.
my
And the
gosh.
same could be said about the Cincinnati Bengals. If you don't franchise tag T. Higgins for 2 years and you pay him immediately, if you pay Jamar Chase on time, if you're able to prematurely pay Joe Burrow and get him to accept $50 million a year as opposed to $55 million a year, if you invested a little bit more in your offensive line, this could have been a way different story. This team was clearly capable of getting it done when they had a good defense in 2021, when they made it to the Super Bowl. But unfortunately, when you overpay the entire team and you can't support your core, this is what typically happens. My prediction is that the Bengals get a hot start with Jake Browning. They maybe go 2-1 and 3-1 in his first few starts. Everyone gets excited. You don't even
Who do the Bengals play next?
Sets in. They lose 3 straight. The running game can't get going because teams don't respect Browning's deep ball. The defense gets worn down from being on the field too much. By the time Burrow's ready to come back, if he comes back this season, that is, they're sitting at some.
He's not coming back. Like I know 3 months is not necessarily season injury. I mean, I said injury, season ending. But if they're not in the position to make the playoffs, then it's pretty much season ending for Burrow, bro.
Like 6 and 8 or 7.
Because like your defense is already trash. You know what I'm saying? Even though they did make big key plays against the Jags, it's the Jags. You know what I'm saying? And the Jags should have won that game, to be honest, bro. But horrible coaching and shit like that. But you already have a horrible defense, horrible offensive line with a backup quarterback. That is a recipe for disaster, bro. So
needing to win out to make
their season pretty much might be over. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen, but
Joe Burrow's as tough as
it's not looking too good for them.
It doesn't just go away; it lingers. It affects your push-off, your mobility, your entire game. Maybe they sneak into the playoffs as a wild card. Maybe they don't. Either way, this feels like a lost season, a wasted year of Joe Burrow's prime. Another chapter in the long, sad story of the Cincinnati Bengals failing to capitalize on their opportunities. It's crazy because Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have this incredible connection, dating all the way back from their time together in LSU. But at the same time, this meme in regards to the Bengals deciding to draft Jamar Chase over Penny Sewell will always age remarkably. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this situation. Aside from that, another team that's absolutely desperate is the Dallas Cowboys. You have no idea what they're doing as a result of
they signed Jadeveon Clowney,
a career high in his passing yards against them. I made a separate video. I'm going to leave it in the end screen to meet you guys there. I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next episode.
Hey, man. Shit. Damn, it's been a while since I did a video like this. I ain't gonna lie. But I want to know what you guys think. You know what I'm saying? Down in the comments below. Like, at the end of the day, bro, it's just the Bengals being cheap and just waiting way too long to pay their star players, bro. Because they could have been paid, you know what I'm saying, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, a long time ago, bro. And Trey Hendrickson. They could have, you know what I'm saying, been paid him. But like, they just want to sit here and wait for other teams to pay their star players. And then you know, like, they know how the NFL market works, bro. You see one player that you think that you're better than get paid more money, and then you want to get paid more money than them, but then the front office be like, nah, I don't think you're worth all that. And then the next player gets paid more money than that player, and then that player wants to get paid more money than that player. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just a weird thing going on in the NFL with this. But hey, bro, it's the way the market goes, bro. You know what I'm saying? So hey, y'all about to start paying your players on time, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to worry about that with my Ravens. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all let me know what other NFL videos I'm to react to. Without further ado, I'm out. Yeah.